I know you've been talked to a lot. I'm going to talk a little bit more. This is what I'm going to try and start and tackle. Too many people in our city don't know that there is a plan in Chicago. And you can't win without a plan. I go to meetings in the Gold Coast, in other neighborhoods, and people are hiring private security. They're asking for more police. They're confused. And that tells me we got to do a better job of educating. Because I've worked in Boston. I worked in Providence. I worked with my partners in LA. No city reduced violence without a plan. So the people in this room are my hero. On my grave is going to say he was an outreach worker, a proud outreach worker. It's the most beautiful field, the most courageous field. But people need to know there is a plan. Too many people in the neighborhoods don't know there is a plan. What did we build in Chicago in the last 6 or 7 years? You heard a lot of it. We built an academy with 350 outreach graduates, professionals. Many of them supervisors, managers, and directors now who run organizations. Case management, leadership academy. We have stabilized. George Matos always says this is the first 6 years that Chicago hasn't laid off outreach workers. That is a really big deal. We have done a big upgrade in payment, salaries. That's important. Our teams go out there and some of them get shot. They're courageous. They don't have bulletproof vests. They just have their minds. And what happens if we lose them? And how can they support their families very often when they're in and out 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning? That's important. Those are important victories. We went from almost no coordination in the city to a lot of coordination in the city. That is part of a plan. You cannot win without coordination, sophisticated coordination. We started cautiously with 15 neighborhoods. We're now in 27 neighborhoods. Where I think about 80% of the homicides takes place. So we're in the right places. We have research partners that are sophisticated, ask us tough questions. We are not some dreamers and salespeople. Our field is problematic. It's not a simple field. It's not a simple staff. It's not simple resources. This is complex. I invite any CEO to spend a week with an ED of one of the groups in the city of Chicago. It will be as good as 3 years at Harvard Business School. Ready was born, victim services, CBT, stipend are now a given. We don't just tell people to change, just do the right thing. We're not Nancy Reagan. We support people with some money. This is not 1990 outreach that you did in Boston, LA, Chicago. This is now more sophisticated. This is not just outreach anymore, right? We don't just do mediations, though we do many of them. We now have wellness programs for our own staff. Our staff speaks in language now that I don't understand, medical language, about trauma and healing, and they know the steps. That took a lot of effort from funders, professionals. CRED pioneered it. A lot of us are now doing it. We have cultural trips that are supported by funders. CRED did that. We take our young people to see these different places. Our team came back from Alabama and says, wow, we have a lot of resources in Chicago. We didn't know that. How come Selma is doing so badly? They were feeling empathy for a place that for us is historically symbolic. We're checking with dosage. What's the right dosage? Does Austin need the same amount of outreach workers when you have 2,200 people at high risk to a neighborhood that has a smaller one? We are now working on all that. This is a sophisticated field. We had COVID. Many people said funders won't stay, they'll just cede it. But thank you, funders. You stayed the course, and you're staying the course. This cannot happen without gas in the tank. Our government got involved, and they're in it, and you heard it from them. You heard what they're doing. We did not collapse during COVID and social unrest, where trust in our government plummeted even further down. Essential workers, the people in this room didn't go virtual even one day, risked their life, they got sick, they reached out. We actually got stronger. Our relationships in the city got stronger. So we're seeing reductions. I'm cautious about the reduction. I'm someone who doesn't like to sell numbers. We had 2 years of chaos in white America, rural America, cities, everywhere. So we're showing good numbers this year. We're going to be very cautious. If anyone thinks this is less than a 10-year journey, you haven't been through changing cities. This is going to take time. And I feel that now we have the support to continue and do it, and this city will manage to do that. This is the moment we need to reject fear. If you see in rooms, not in this room, we all believe in it, but you're in rooms where people say we need more police, where we're not sure this is working, educate them to ask smart questions, to find out what it is. You will not change Chicago unless we have building of infrastructure, prevention for younger kids, intervention, and better policing. All those fours are needed. It's not one or the other. You can choose to be Mississippi, or you can choose to be Boston, LA, and New York. It's a really simple choice. It's much simpler than we understand. And finally, if you're in a room that doesn't look like this room, and people say we need more policing, I'm not sure that room has the right to tell the people from the south side and the west side what they need. We need more peacemakers. That's what you're telling us, and that's what we're working to do. You've already had more policing for the last 30 years, and more incarceration. And we have the right to say we don't want more of that, right? I'm not in the crowd of defund the police. Our police department needs to get better, that's for sure. We support what they do, but we need to make sure that the imbalance between civilian architecture and policing, investment, incarceration becomes more balanced. It's really simple. We know the economics. The life and the future of this city depends on it. We can do it. This is a man-made crisis. Other cities did it. Let's be tough and do it. Thank you.
Good job.